I would always fall for it. But one day, I did it to him. He got really mad. And then I got sad. And then, and then the second time he saw me after that, he kept apologizing to me. And then we got over that. Once I read this book to him, How to Babysit a Grandpa. Everyone left except for him, and I stayed at the house with him. And then I actually babysat him. And I would climb up all over him. To him. It invaded his personal space. And he loved it. But, yeah.
Good job. Good job. So I was sharing with you guys before I started right now, sharing with you a story because I think it's important for me to share it. And that is that day on the dock, I got mad at my dad. I got frustrated because I felt like what he was saying to me, you could do this, you could do that, you could do all this stuff about the photography business, which, he is no longer in. He hasn't been in for 10 years, and I have been in every day. So it was a constant conversation that we had. And I finally said to him, Dad, stop. I am not doing any of that stuff. I'm not going to do that stuff. What I'm doing is working. I'm not going to do it. And I did some version of walking away. I don't know how I walked away. And he was like, okay, well, here's the big deal of the story. About an hour later, he comes to find me. And he's like, hey, I just want to talk to you about what happened and how that went so wrong. And I think I realized what happened is that I was saying you could, and you could, and you could, and you thought I was saying you should, and you should, and you should, and I was just coming up with ideas. And really, this is still him talking, really, what you've done is remarkable, and I'm so proud of you, and you did what I couldn't do, and you stuck to it, and I don't think you need to change a thing. Now, the reason I'm sharing this story is because it was a big moment for me. Because what I realized was the man who used to be so tough and who used to be hard, he became the man who was so committed to having a relationship with me that he did the thinking. What went wrong? What happened? How did that get misinterpreted? And he came right away to me to get it complete. And I realized that I had watched him go from somebody who was always in my corner, who always wanted the best for me, but didn't know how to communicate it, didn't know what to say about it, or how to be soft about it, to the guy who I could barely get through a conversation with him without him telling me how proud he was and crying and just being so, like Autumn said, so soft and loving and compassionate. And it took him a lifetime to figure out how to go from one to the other. And I got to see it. And the last 5 years with him was so special because he wasn't trying to protect himself. He was just being generous and loving and proud. And he basically showered me with that. And it was I'm so grateful for it. But here's the takeaway. Here's what I thought of. This is a free gift to everybody, okay? So, just for a minute, I want you to picture the 1, 2, 3 most special people in your life. The people that you see every day. The people who are always there, who have always been there, who will be always there until your last breath, okay? Just picture them. Those people are in your corner. Those people care the most about you. They say it the way they say it, and they do it the way they do it. But they care. They've got your best interest. So listen to them differently when they're trying to contribute to you, because that's what I was able to do with my dad, and it made all the difference. And that's what he wanted for everybody. Okay? That's all I've got to say for today.
Wiping it off. Come on, Jackie. I don't know that that's gonna kill COVID. I should. Oh, there's hand right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Jackie, daughter number 4. Somebody has to drop an F-bomb. And somebody has to moon everybody before we leave today.
That will be Jordan.
So, I would say I've been digging pretty deep for gratitude. It's not your go-to, right, when you lost your dad. There is an infinite amount of things to be grateful for. And I got to spend really a lot of time with him in the last year, and he and my mom chose to come and live near us. And we were helping them find a house. He was like, I don't care. Whatever your mom wants. Whatever your mom wants. Whatever your mom wants. And she got what she wanted always. Pretty much. But I love that about my dad. That he wanted my mom to be okay. And that was something I would have never known about my dad. Because I had a perception of him growing up as a child. That he was like selfish and, you know, you see your parents in some way when you're a child and you view them from a child's perspective. And sometimes it's easy to get stuck in that perspective. But I had an opportunity to actually get to know my dad. Not as my dad, but as Dave Little. He's the most freaking complicated person I think that's ever walked the earth, really. Because one minute he's sweet and kind and loving, and the next minute he'll just say something that pisses you off so bad that you leave the room and you think, I never want to talk to that man again, you know? But then, of course, you're right back the next day. And he's apologizing and but I didn't get from my dad the fun gene. In the last 2 weeks, I was really rooting for him. I really wanted him to pull through. And he was sitting in the living room, and he looked up at me, could barely breathe. He was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, Jack. But like he was gonna disappoint me. And I was like, Dad, this is for you, you know, if you're done. He's like, yeah, I think so. The next night, I stayed the night with him, and he struggled a lot. Xavier came with me. And he goes, it's the middle of the night, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he can't breathe, and he's having anxiety, and he sits up, and he's like, looks over to the side of me, and he goes, I think it's almost over. And I said, yeah, I think so. And he goes, really? And then he said the most Dave thing ever. He said, it's been fun. said I've done everything I ever wanted to do, and I didn't deserve everything I earned. I mean, everything that I have in my life. I don't know how I got it. It's so shocking. I have no idea how it all turned out like this. I do want to say he had one regret. And if you're a father, please take this to heart. He wished he played with us more. He wished he hugged us more. He wished he let us lay with him. That was his one regret. But in the last few years, he did let us do that. And every time I saw him, he wanted to hold my hand and hug me and kiss me and tell me he loved me and how proud he was of me. And that was the best gift. Because I know he died loving me, being proud of me, being proud of all of us. And it's so important to know that. Thank you so much, Dad, for giving us that. I'm gonna miss him.
This is the one we're using. Wow. Well, I wasn't prepared to say anything, which is kind of surprising. And this morning I started thinking, and then I spent a lot of time with Dad. And I think there was a time in my life where my sisters were jealous of that, because I got a lot of time alone with him. And I traveled all over the country with him for about 10 years, and I was his assistant, and I got blamed for a lot of stuff. And that was not a great time for me with him. But as I was thinking this morning, I mean, I could tell you guys a million stories about things that happened, but I started thinking about the day that he took me into his dark room. I'm going to wait till the plane flies over. So about 27 years ago, my dad had a little dark room that he had built in the back of my mom and dad's backyard that was a little bit like this. It was a little shed, and he was creating for the first time in a long time. My dad spent a lot of his time working to provide for us. And he did a lot of things that he didn't want to do so that we had food and we had a home. And he had an opportunity to do something that he really loved. And he ran with it. And I was so lucky to be a part of that. And I remember for the first time ever feeling like I really knew my dad. I stood in a dark room with him for 6 hours. I hadn't spent 15 minutes alone with my dad my whole life. And he was so excited. And I didn't know that that's what it was. He was like, "Come here, I want to show you something I've been working on." And we were developing film, and we were printing pictures, and I was like, man, he is really alive right now. And so this morning when I was thinking about that, I started thinking about all the times I remember hearing him say to people, "Come here, I want to show you something." Or, "Come here, I want to tell you something." And my dad had a gift. I mean, he had a lot of them. But the one gift that I'm so grateful for, really? It's there? Okay. He knew how to connect with people on their level. Everyone. He had a special relationship with you that was different than the relationship he had with you, that was different than the relationship he had with you. And I don't know where he learned how to do that. But I watched him do that with thousands of people for years and years and years. And I didn't realize at the time how valuable that was. But that was the gift that I got to witness. Witness him being with special needs children and how he let them hug him and he would lay on the floor with them. And he loved golden retrievers. He loved golden retrievers, beautiful women, motorcycles, and cash. Right, Mom? Loved to have a good time. Loved to party. So most of my life, a lot of people have said, you're just like your dad. And there was a large part of my life where I would argue about that. And I would say, no, I'm not. I'm not like my dad. But now I understand what a compliment that was. And I am like my dad. I'm a lot like my dad. I'm a lot like my mom.
But I'm a lot like my dad. Oh no. It's fine. Smash it like it's like an exactly. No.
I don't think shut off.
Shut up.
The speaker is yours.
I don't need a microphone.
That's
right. So I am like my dad. And that's a gift. And I'm so grateful that he taught me how to be powerful. He taught me how to go after what I want. And he taught me how not to be scared to say what I feel. And I encourage you all to do that. And have a great time today. Because he loved you all. And you were important to him. And so my request is that you have fun today and that you have a great time and you meet someone and you connect on a different level that you've never connected on before. So thank you for being here. I don't know what.
Use the mic. You should be on.
Oh, I gotta have a
Good.
mic. Hold on.
Right here.
Oh.
Just something real quick. I know everybody's getting hungry. I am going to say who I am,
Okay.
even though I lost my name tag. So I'm Dee Dee. I'm sure most of you know who I am. I'm trying to do this without crying. But I just have something short to say. I spent 51 years of my life without knowing my dad, David Little. But I always said, and I had this quote in my head, and I told my friends and family, I said, there has to be something good in David Little, because there's good in me. And I really got to see it through my sisters and my family and my friends. And the last 4 years I've got to spend with my dad, who was openly honest and shared his heart with me and his regrets and told me he loved me over and over. And the last couple weeks I got to spend with him, he's like, well, you really got to know me this time. And I said, yeah, I've seen things I probably could have went without seeing. But I did get to know the good in my dad, and I'm very thankful for that and very blessed. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Anyone else? Come on, Xavier. Good.
Okay. So we've heard a little bit about how David Little kind of got to be the man he is and all the different ways he's been throughout his life, yes? And one of the ones that I heard a lot about was this tough, hard-ass, mean, whatever you heard all the daughters and grandchildren share about. And at times, I would see that through his daughter, my wife, Jackie.
Amen.
However, one of the other things that we heard about him, and you, Jennifer, actually captured this when you shared, which is what I was planning to share today, was the piece about being able to see something possible. And as someone who has a photographic memory and I'm very analytical and I see lots of possibilities in my head, I very much so struggle in taking action. And my wife has the gift that David Little had, and she will come up to me and say, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do that. And I get so fucking pissed off. There's your F-bomb. And I can see it now as I can recontextualize that, like, wow, she's contributing to me right now. And that's the gift of David Little living on in her. And she makes a joke that every day, at least especially for the last year or so that they've lived close to us, every time he would see her, he'd go, did you sell a house today? Did you sell a house today? And it was that drive, that motivation, and the determination to actually take action on the ideas he had as an inventor, as a creator. Some of the things I've heard and the stories that he personally shared with me, I'm like, wow, this guy had a freaking awesome life. Now I know all the struggles, not all, but I've heard many of them, and I got a great sense of how life came to be and where they got to be where they are now, and yet, as he said, it's been fun. I plan on living out the embodiment of it's been fun. I know that's one of the reasons you married me. And I think we can really take that piece and move forward in life going, okay, I know what it's like to have an idea or an inspiration or something I really want and then not do it, and how that lives inside. So now when I hear those opportunities, I'm going to hear it from David Little. And I will reconsider taking action on that. And thank you very much. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Now, after the next, two people, we do have something a little more fun we want to do in honor of Dave. Now, we can allow you two gentlemen to definitely share, and then we want to let everyone have that opportunity. Something fun that my wife and daughters came up with in honor of Dave, and something he was present to right before he passed. So stay tuned for that, because that is part of the fun and the celebration.
Damn you, Dan.
Here you go, Dan. You got to hold off the fun.
I've got a protector story and a life in the fast lane story. Protector story, Dave, calls me about a year and a half ago. I need you to check on this guy that lives in New Smyrna or Sanford. I think he's dating my granddaughter. I went, and he gave me a name, and it didn't ring a bell at all. I said, Dave, I don't know. I said, I'll check into it. Well, I was seeing this little white BMW around the farm. I went, I wonder if that's his granddaughter. Sure enough, it was my nephew, Andre. And I had met her and didn't have any idea that she was Dave's granddaughter.
That's your nephew?
That's a protector. Yes.
That's your nephew?
Life in the fast lane, Dave. We were at Beachside Tavern.
Bring the mic up a little bit.
We're at the Beachside Tavern in New Smyrna. It was bluegrass weekend, and I had some moonshine from Virginia in the saddlebag. And we went in the bar, and the guy said, "It's bluegrass weekend." I said, "I've got moonshine. Can we drink it in here?" He goes, "If you take it out back and I don't see it, you can do whatever you want to with it." So Dave and I, back and forth to the back, we drank more moonshine, drank beer, listened to music. About 4 or 5 o'clock, we said, "Oh, hell, we got to get to the bar out back." So we get on our bikes, and I had a fairly new Road Glide. It would go 109 miles an hour is all we go. 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 109 is all we go. Dave had that hot rod black bike that would fly. And we're coming out 44, and I'm running 109. Fast as I go, Dave goes, shoo. Grinning. Then he slows down and waits on me. I'm going 109. Dave waits on me. We run along together. Gone again. We get to the bar out back in record time, probably 30 minutes from New Smyrna. That's the life in the fast lane day right there.
my name is John. I own a bike shop. First memory I have of Dave was bringing his bike up to get it worked on. And you know, we all know Dave. He had every gadget there was. So I had asked one of the new employees to go out there and help him unload his bike. Well, Dave's like, no, I got it. You know. Well, Dave had these new motorcycle wheel chocks that if you put your bike in, it automatically latched it. And Dave was unloading it. When he snapped the straps to loosen it, it came out of that chock, and it comes rolling out the back of the trailer, and it rolled the length of my parking lot, standing straight up. And me and my brother came running out of the door. I came out of the front door, and my brother comes out of the shop door, and we get about 5 feet from it, and falls on its side. And we're both looking at Dave like, oh God. And Dave's just like, it's no big deal. No big deal. You know, that's just Dave, you know. But just to keep it on a light note, Dave was going through trying to figure out what he's going to do after the photography stuff and all. And we hung out a lot. And we're riding one day, and I had a girlfriend with me, and we're at just a little deli sitting there. There's probably 25 people inside the deli, and Dave walks up to us and he goes, hey, let me show you something. Okay. Dave drops his pants right in the middle of the whole restaurant. He's like, look at my new belt. I'm like, Dave, put your pants on. And that was the invention of the sticky belt. just Dave. Just so many things. And he was like my best friend. He did to me like he did to y'all about, hey, you should do this with your business, you should do that, you know. And he's always looking out. He was always looking out for everybody. And the biggest thing I remember about Dave is just to cherish the moment. You know, he's like, just enjoy this time. We're making memories. You know, just remember that this is something that'll never happen again, probably. You know, and just cherish it. And that's we all need to take that moment and live in it and enjoy it and cherish it and cherish our friends and all the good times. So that's what I got to say.
Leave it on.
One more Buckeye.
Hello, everybody. I'm Randy White. I am Connie's nephew, and I was Dave's favorite nephew out of all of them. My mother was the second monk. Am I getting that right? And so what I remember about early age, 6, 7, 8 years old, Klein Road, Connie used to cut my hair, right? So Uncle Dave and my dad took me camping in Mohican State Park. I know where Mohican State Park is?
Ohio, I bet.
North Ohio. So we canoe all day, and Uncle Dave kept telling me, look out for the rabbits. What the heck? I'm looking on the shore. No, rapids. I mistook rapids. We ran over a rock, and the canoe split open. Like, the seam split open. So we got a big rock, and we pounded it on the canoe, and I sat on the rock, canoeing down the Mohican River. So we camped the one night, and the next day we're hiking, and we see the fire tower. We broke the door and climbed all the way up the 100-foot fire tower, and we put out the fire. We peed off the fire tower. Uncle Dave said we got to put out the fire. But anyway, what's that? Uncle Dave. Yeah. But over the last, 20 years, I've had the good fortune of coming down to Florida for probably half a dozen times. I think the last time we had dinner in Winter Park. No, Sanford with Clara and her friend, but Winter Park with Christina, my graphic designer, when we had the little show. Dave came to Orlando. I had a conference in Orlando. I had printing equipment, and he came with all his roller poster paper, and we were doing samples right in the conference. So, but here's to Uncle Dave, my favorite uncle. So cheers up to Dave.
Watch your step on the way up and down.
I don't know if I'll need a mic.
I don't need that thing, so.
All right, cool.
We're here, Chuck and Billy.
Chuck and Billy, we were fortunate. We were fortunate enough to meet Dave and Connie about 7, 8 years ago. We had many pleasures of going about 3 times or so, going out to the Wani and music fest.
Going camping for the weekend at a music fest.
One of the most important things, you guys kind of touched on it, but not really touched on it. Dave had a smart ass streak in him that was just unbelievable. If you bounced a joke off of him, it was coming right back at you as quick as possible. As quick as possible. He was so quick-witted, it was absolutely amazing. And I think that's the thing that really drawn me and Millie today. And so, I'm gonna let her explain that right there.
So one year at the Wani Fest, it decided to get about 50 degrees. Dave shows up with just shorts and t-shirts, nothing to keep him warm. They run down to Walmart. Walmart has no pants or anything. I'm like, Dave, listen, I got a pair of pants you can wear. I got some sweats you can wear. So all weekend he wore my sweats. And of course, you know the joke all weekend is, oh, we know who wears the pants in your house. Oh, you know I've been in your woman's pants. Well, one night we're sitting around the campfire and Dave wore his shorts underneath these pants. And Connie's sitting over there looking at him and they're all ruffled and she's, Dave, honey, did you drop your balls? So all weekend it was this deal about these pants and everything. So I saved these pants and the next year I show up at Wani and I walk around all weekend with this on my ass. So these are Dave's pants, and like every year I'll go shopping with my mom and I'll be at Publix or something. I'll be in the cold section with my ass sticking out, we take a picture and we send it to Dave, or I'm bending over doing something. But these pants I've had for about 5, 6 years, and I wear them yearly, and now I'll keep them forever because these are Dave's pants.
That's only one of them.
Anyone else?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm one of Dave's daughters. You know, I've had a couple of weeks to really process this. It's just been a really strange 4 years. And I kept my distance for a while, processing some things. But I didn't get there in time. We were on our way and he died 30 minutes before we got there. And I just want to tell everybody, you know, we take for granted we've got time to process and reconciliation and forgiveness, but you know, you find yourself really asking yourself, did I do enough? Did I say enough? Did fear get in the way? Did pride get in the way? Did unforgiveness get in the way? Did anger get in the way? Did resentment get in the way? And, you know, the past couple of weeks, I'm really finding some peace about the relationship I had with my dad. because we sharpened one another. We didn't understand one another. We were kind of like oil and water. But I know that I made a difference with him and he made a difference with me. And the peace I'm having is, you know, we sharpen one another as human beings. You know, it's, you want to make a difference in how you receive it, and then I just really know in my heart through his way of being. He would always say, "Jill, you're just so different from your sisters. You're just so different.
That's not a bad
You're just so different. Every time we were together, you're just so different." And I think I think he just couldn't get me, and I couldn't get him. But the past couple of weeks, there's been this piece of great love, because I look at what he has given our family. He has raised some really strong women. And he, you know, it was discouraging at times in our childhood.
What?
You know?
What are you talking about?
It was like, if you wanted to be a dental hygienist, why not be the dentist? If you wanted to be a flight attendant, why not the pilot? You know, it just never seemed enough. But as you get older, you realize that he's speaking greatness into you, because he sees that you're capable of being the top dog. And, you know, this past couple of weeks, I've been trying to find the perfect song, the perfect poem. One was a Willie Nelson song, because I remember him in the 70s teaching himself how to play the guitar. On a Sunday afternoon, he was brilliant. He was genius. He got bored quickly, and he was always teaching himself something new all the time. But I realized what he has done for our family, we're all very successful businesswomen, and we owe that to him, because he was tough. He was that tough love. But I have nothing but gratitude.
Taught you how to sing. Production.
It's dead.
Yeah, I can do it.
But there was one thing that I really got in the past couple of days, and it's just been recent, because I was like, God, help me, because I want to be able to express and honor this man for what he's invested in all of us. And,
Back on the mic.
okay, good. This is,
It's like, what the heck? Ready.
But this is the one thing that came to me. I was at church, and they were talking about a scripture, iron sharpens iron. And I just have a whole new meaning for it, because the meaning of iron sharpens iron is we sharpen one another, and it's about that tough love and refinement of the character that really presents to one another on how one person can really put you in action. And in the process, it ends up being really beneficial to bigger opportunities and the fulfillment of a bigger picture. And that's what he did. He didn't care if he was an asshole. He didn't care if we hated him. He didn't care if we were mad. He wanted strong women. And he would even teach us how to fight as little. He would pin us against each other on a Sunday afternoon. He'd build this little boxing ring.
Dee Dee, you missed out on that.
Dee Dee got to miss out on all of this.
Jill always won.
Yes.
She's scary.
See? Oh my God.
See?
I look so sweet, but they're scared to death of me.
Yeah, she's scary. She's a scary one.
But he used to teach us to box at ages like 3, 6, 8. He's like, I want to tell you something. If you get in a fight at school and you get your ass kicked, you're going to get it kicked again by me when you get home. Like that's
I would say, hit first and hit hard.
and nobody messes with us.
Especially not the crew.
See the things you missed out on, honey?
It's getting real, y'all.
It's going to get real now. I was the oldest, but now I have this beautiful big sister that I get to pass the baton to.
Happy to.
So, but I just wanted to honor him because his creativity It was the greatest gift he bestowed on me because that's what I do for a living, a very thriving business. But it was magical watching this man create. Like, the business sense, they get more of his business, but I got his creativity. I remember being 3 and 4 and watching him on a Sunday afternoon make this string art and make a beautiful Brooklyn Bridge. Or at Little Creations, he would just take a bunch of colors and create a masterpiece like Picasso or Van Gogh. I mean, the man was brilliant, and I was in awe of him. And I'm just really grateful because I get to pass that creativity on and that gift to the rest of the world and my daughters. So, you know, what he's created here is beautiful. And I look it out and I'm thinking, okay, this one, he talked about this group as biker group, and a couple of my cousins, I remember being in the 70s sitting around the living room, and he would play the guitar and they'd be passing on marijuana. You know, this is the 70s, I mean early 70s.
He did that. He did that recently.
He did that like last month.
He did that in the hospital.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes he would baffle you because you would be sitting there and he goes, you know what you need to do, Jillian? You need to write a letter to Oprah Winfrey about me. And I'm like, you've got the wrong daughter. You need to, like, approach the other ones, you know? But he would just come, he said that to me. But it's just that's who he was. That's who he was. He was bigger than life. I think he was, I mean, he could have lived to be 200 years and still had creative ideas. And so we're really blessed. We're really blessed. And I just wanted to honor him really good today for what he's done for all of us.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about a song.
Well, that was intentional, probably.
Anybody else before we?
Oh my gosh.
I just want to say one thing about this song.
Okay.
My sister shared this with me, that he was hearing this song close to his departure. And it really brought such peace to my heart because, I'm not going to throw the song, but I'm just saying, I can picture him walking, I know all of you know him really well. When he would walk into a room, he'd stand in the hallway like, the party can start now because I'm here. And I think when he was getting ready to pass over to the other side, he was really excited about the people he was going to see. His best friend Robin, his best friend Sonny, his brother Uncle Larry, his mother, his dad he never got to meet when his dad died when he was 15 months old. So I think that this song is going to resonate with a lot of you because you're going to see Dave in this song.
All right, everybody's passing out the lyrics. So this is a sing-along. Oh, I do need my glasses too. This is a sing-along, so everyone's getting the words. Yeah. Did you skip me?
I think we've blown our timeline, right?
Yeah,
So, like way
I know
past
everyone's
time.
hungry. We're just
Okay. We're like 5 minutes remaining. Okay. I want to acknowledge that.
These guys need lyrics up here too. Everybody who's passing.
You sing?
So if you've ever been to one of our parties, you know it always involves us singing. It always involves music. And
It's usually Dad's request, honestly.
we were our dad's first business.
Yeah. I need a sheet.
We were called the 4Js. Dee Dee wasn't there. Sorry, Dee Dee.
I'm a D.
But now we're the 4Js and a D.
DJs.
We're the DJs.
DJs now.
And the few days before my dad passed away, he said to me, I keep hearing this damn song in my head. What is this song? That Cheers song. You know that Cheers song? Na, 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 na. And I was like, the Cheers, like the TV show? And he's like, yeah, well, he had experienced, some psychosis and stuff when he was in the hospital. So I'm like, oh boy, what is happening? But he got so
interested in why he was hearing this song over and over again in his head, and he had me play it for him like 4 times, and I know he had my mom play it for him too. And it's so perfect for Dad. So we changed the lyrics up a little bit, and we really hope you sing along with us. And this is, well, yeah, I mean, this is really, the words are really about his life towards the end. And we hope you hear that in what we sing, so.
I'm not using words.
Yeah, no, yeah, Jordan's gonna play it right now.
All right.
Sing Bello.
Angela, get up.
Okay.
Get up here, Angela.
All right, we're ready, here we go.
Get up here.
You guys know this song. Make it loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? All those times you can't sleep at night, did you give it all you got? And your wife is by your side, but even she can't stop the clock. And your luck just might be running low. Come on, everybody. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. Almost 80 years have passed. I made the most of everyone. My body is old and tired from having so much fun. I'm gonna miss all of my girls. I'm glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same, and you want to go where everybody knows your name. Instrumental. Who doesn't love a long instrumental? I mean, everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Everybody knows your name. We don't have a microphone. Always glad you came. Everybody knows your name. Always glad you came. Rocco, do you want to wrap us up and send us inside?
Okay, everyone, I still don't know what to say. Kidding. Listen, there's a few people. John Lowe. John Lowe. It's John's house. He invited us here tonight. That's one of the people I just want to thank. Thank you, John. Thanks very much. And we don't know what it took for you to be here tonight, but we cherish and appreciate your time. And I do want to give the microphone to Grandma. I think she should be the last one to say good night to everyone.
I also want to thank Sheila, who is a good friend of our family's, and she prepared all this food, and it's all of Dave's favorites, right down to the dessert. This is Sheila. I also want to tell you how appreciative I am and how much I love my daughters. And I think they're amazing. And the last thing David said to me, you're going to be fine. You've got the girls. And he's right. And I'm good. Thanks, everybody.